Welcome in. It is March to Matchday, the first of the 2023 Major League Soccer season. My name is Jason Longshore. Get you ready for Atlanta United and the San Jose Earthquakes on Saturday night, 7:39 kickoff from Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Got a lot of clips of audio here from lots of different folks to really give you a well-rounded idea of what to expect as you walk into Mercedes-Benz Stadium on Saturday night, or if you're going to listen to us on 92.9 The Game or the Odyssey app, or if you're going to watch on the brand new Apple TV MLS Season Pass. To kick things off, let's hear from Atlanta United manager Gonzalo Pineda about the preseason, what he got out of it, and also about the threat that the San Jose Earthquakes present tomorrow.
Last game was very good. I mean, obviously the result was 2-1. At times the results in preseason are false because you play your first group in one part of the game, and in that one you win, but then you lose with the second group, and it's false their final result. So we're focused on the performance in that moment. But last game it was important for us to win, just to gain some confidence in the process, and we did. We played very well in certain moments. Most part of the game we were dominating in possession and creating some chances. Some things to correct for sure, but I'm very happy with the momentum that Luis has, that Thiago has in terms of impacting in the final third. Our build-up is getting better and better, and we still don't have, the full integration of Yakumakis and Abraham, and Derek's been training only for a week and a half, so excited about that because we can still be much better. It's a very good team. It's a cliche, we always say that, sorry, but it is at times people underestimate those type of teams, that maybe they don't have a super flashy DP that is, a guy coming from Europe or something like that, but they're a very good squad. Like overall, you look at the MVPs, the new goalkeeper from Brazil that is very good in the build-up. They signed Mensah, which is a question mark if he's going to start. The fullbacks, Paul Marie is very physical. The Peruvian kid, Truco, is also very good, experience. The midfield is very good, Grueso, Yuel, Monteiro, and then obviously they have pace up front, Cowell, Evodice, Espinosa. They're a good team overall. So Lucci, I know, is a very good coach, likes to play off the back, likes to be positional in the build-up, and so it's going to be challenging. It's going to be a good squad. It's going to be a good test for us, and we're up for the task.
Coming up next on March to Matchday, it is brand new San Jose Earthquakes manager Luchi Gonzalez. Luchi Gonzalez spoke to the media out west yesterday and spoke about what he expects in facing Atlanta United, and also about new center back Jonathan Mensah.
So with Atlanta, it's definitely a team that has individual talent. Amada, Araujo, and those are players that can change the game in any moment, no matter style of play and no matter the momentum of the game. And we definitely will recognize that and prepare for that. But as a team, as a collective, Gonzalo's prepared this team to build, to have interesting vertical combinations between lines and commit numbers forward into the attack. And we need to be ready for that. In addition to an environment that is the opening game of the season for them. Their fans are going to be excited for a new season, same as ours. So that'll be a challenge in itself, but something that we've been talking about and embracing in our preparations. We want to build a road warrior mentality in preseason. I felt we accomplished a lot of those objectives, and building the brotherhood with the group in terms of our team values and culture, and then our playing identity and our playing style. So this first challenge will be a big one, but I see the group ready. I'm excited. They are. They've showed it here in these last few days of training and their preparation, and we're excited to get there to Atlanta and show a beginning of 2023 and what we're capable of doing. Yeah, look, obviously we brought in Jonathan as a swift solution because of the injury with Nathan, and that's very clear and obvious. But at the same time, we're excited to have a player like Jonathan, an experienced MLS veteran, a champion in the league, a player that has experience at the international level with Ghana, a really good human being that represents, not just being a fighter on the field and a leader on the field, but off the field, a great role model for our team and our club and our community. So he's been a great addition. In a short amount of time, he's integrated quickly. The boys have really taken an opening to him and welcomed him and integrated him. So obviously he hasn't been with us very long in the preseason, but he's showing signs of readiness. And there's no final decisions until the game, but he will be a player that will be available for us to compete against Atlanta.
Next up on March to Match Day, San Jose Earthquakes central midfielder Jackson Yueill has played a significant amount with the U.S. men's national team as well. And Yueill's role will change a little bit now in this midfield for the Quakes with Carlos Grueso being added to the team. I think the midfield has the potential to be one of the best in the league when they get everything in sync. Here is Yueill speaking to the media in California about that role that he has in the midfield trio and about the potential partnership that he'll have with Jamiro Montero.
Yeah, I feel motivated. I think we have a strong team. We're able to bring in some good players. I think some other players are getting older and more mature, and I think the cohesiveness as a group I think is really strong. For myself, I think playing a little bit more of a progressive role this year. Getting into higher spaces and into the pocket, and working more with Jamiro and Jabo and the wingers higher up on the field, and so eager to get in and around the box and create more chances this year. Excited to start on Saturday. Yeah, I think the great thing about both of us is we like movement. I think it's pretty fluid in both. So I would say it tends to be an 8 and an 8 where we're both kind of dropping in lower spaces to receive the ball, but also can both play as a 10. I think sometimes it's me dropping more and Mito staying a little bit higher in the pocket. So I think that creativity and fluidity of the being able to switch between the two, I think helps destabilize midfields and defenses. I think it also will depend on who we're playing and what kind of their strengths and weaknesses are. Playing with him in the midfield has always been fun because he's able to float around in many different areas and pick up the ball and escape. So I think throughout certain games and throughout the year it'll change, but I would say we're both kind of still in that role of box to box, and especially in the attacking area, trying to get in and finish some goals this year.
Really interesting to hear those comments from Jackson Yueill just about how the midfield trio will work for San Jose. I think they have the potential to be one of the best midfields in Major League Soccer, but they're going to have to build some chemistry. I really was intrigued to hear what Yueill had to say about pairing with Montero really in front of Grueso. It makes you think maybe it's going to play more like Jackson said, a 6 and 2 8s as opposed to a double pivot behind. But the flexibility is there. So this Quakes midfield really multifaceted. I'm excited to see them tomorrow. I'm excited to see how they grow as the year goes on. I think they have a ton of potential to be one of the top midfields in the league. Coming up next on March to Match Day, she will be on the call tomorrow night on MLS Season Pass on Apple TV. Kendra de St. Aubin, and here are Kendra's thoughts about the match.
I think you hit the nail on the head in the midfield, and why I agree with you on the midfield. It's not just, we all know, I mean, I'm not Nostradamus when I say the midfield is important, but for me, it's about the transition moments. Where are you positionally when you lose the ball? That's, for me, the biggest thing, is the shape in the midfield, not just for going forward, but are you ready to defend when you lose the ball? Are you in a good shape in the midfield to lose the ball and try to win it back quickly, or at least cover? Because both of these teams can get out and attack quickly. Both of these teams can counter. Atlanta loves to be high pressing. We've seen that in the past. Of course, Pineda had to switch it up a little bit last year with how he played because it was plug and play. You have injuries. Josef Martinez wasn't maybe 100% this season, as we know. So now you've got to figure out when that high press happens, if they get by you on that first press, who's in the midfield to really step and cover. And same with San Jose, they can get stretched. You don't want those big gaps in the midfield. You don't want too much space in between the lines when you go forward. So I think it's going to come down to the midfield, who wins that battle, and then who can be effective in the final third. Both these teams can score goals. They have a front attacking 3 or 4 that can be effective, but who puts away their chances and can be most clinical inside the box, in and around the box, can be dangerous. And I'm just pumped. I mean, this atmosphere is going to be phenomenal. And even the visiting teams, we've all seen it. They feed off of 50,000. They feed off a fantastic crowd. Is there anything better than quieting 50,000 people in a stadium with an early goal or something, for San Jose? So it's going to be a great opening day, and I'm really looking forward to it.
It's going to be awesome to hear Kevin Egan and Kendra De St. Alban all season long on Apple TV's MLS Season Pass. They'll be bouncing around the league, not just on Atlanta United broadcasts, but Kendra is one of the great commentators around the country, and I'm excited to see her and the reaction to her on these games. I think she's one of the most talented commentators out there today. Next up on March to Match Day, Luis Araujo, who had an amazing preseason on the offensive side of the ball. But I wanted to ask him at media availability yesterday about the work that he puts in defensively, because I think it's one of the real underrated elements to his game. Here's Araujo from the Children's Healthcare of Atlanta training ground.
Creo que uma das minhas qualidades, sou um jogador muito rápido, não procuro atacar sempre, claro, pero sempre que puedo procuro defender também, ajudar no tático da equipe. Creo que é uma qualidade minha, claro que tenho que evoluir um pouco ainda, não só atacando, pero defendendo também, pero estou muito contente fazendo meu trabalho e sempre que puedo eu quero rodar a equipe.
I think that's one of my qualities. I'm a very fast player, and I know that it's not always all about attacking. We all have to help out defensively as well. So I try to do that. But it's not about me. It's about what's best for the team. So I'm always going to do whatever I can to help us.
Last clips on March to Match Day for this episode, getting ready for the San Jose Earthquakes. Back to Gonzalo Pineda, a couple of bigger picture questions. He was asked by our own Joe Patrick here at 92.9 The Game about the pairing of Franco Ibarra and Mateus Rossetto in the central midfield. And also, I wanted to follow up and ask him just about what he's learned over the past season and a half or so. This is going into his full second season as a manager. And game models, evolve. They kind of shift over the years. And I wanted to ask him if he's learned anything and made any changes to his game model.
Yes, I think I get a lot of questions about that. The pairings and Ibarra, Rossetto, and individually in that. For me, everything has to be as a team. And yes, you look at little combinations, right? What Lewis and Brooks can do on the flank, what Thiago can do. Then we have Yakumakis and we Caleb or Derek Etienne and the Goodman, the pair of center backs. All of that is important, right? The cohesion in those little parts. But to me, it's all about moving together and creating movements and gaps for others. So it's the coordination between those three midfielders that I have: Ibarra, Rossetto, Thiago. It can be Amar, Santi, Ossi, Ajani. Like I can have different types of center mids, and it's all about as a team how we can move and disorganize the opponent based on our movements, our positional style, our numerical advantages that we create there. On the defensive side, yes, I want always kind of having a good center mid that holds more the middle and is covering, is kind of the sweeper in front of the center backs and knows how to drop into the back line when it's needed, when it's an emergency moment. But at times we can play also with flat two center mids if we need to shut down any two pair of good attacking midfielders. So it's all about that as a team. So talking specifically about Ibarra, Rossetto, they offer certain things. Ibarra is more the guy that is going to win the duels. He's very hard in the tackles. He's covering his own ground at high intensity. And then Rossetto is more the brain. He's the one that is going to take the ball under pressure, disrupt the opponent. His pass accuracy is normally pretty good. We're working with him to trying to be a little more aggressive and a couple more ones in behind, coordinating with Thiago, with Luis. So again, when people isolate just that little box of two players, it confused me a little bit because my idea of football is always as a team, always all together. Yeah, maybe it's more evolution. It's evolving from what we saw that maybe didn't go well last year. Part of that is again how we attack in the perimeter, how we can create better shot quality, but also how we can maintain the control in transition. So as much as we want to be in the attacking half, we want our active defending. That's what we call the positioning of to prevent the counters. How that can be better. So at times you're going to see different types of build-up. That is going to lead into the defensive transition to be easier for us. So a couple of tweaks on that, and what overall the main style, trying to be dominating possession, dictating the tempo, being on the front foot, create a lot of chances. That's who we are. We cannot change that. That's the core of who we are. After that, little things we can tweak and to be more efficient.
Hope you enjoyed hearing from Gonzalo Pineda, from Luchi Gonzalez, from Jackson Yule, from Luis Araujo, and from Kindred de St. Alban on this week's March to Match Day. Every Friday or Saturday morning for weekend matches, probably Wednesday mornings for those midweek games later in the season. March to Match Day will be on the Off the Woodwork podcast series on anywhere you get your podcast, but especially on the Odyssey app. Tomorrow, Atlanta United, San Jose Earthquakes from Mercedes-Benz Stadium, the MLS season opener for 2023, year 7 for the Five Stripes. Five Stripes countdown will start at 7 p.m. on 92.9 The Game, on the Odyssey app, on the Atlanta United app. Kickoff will be 7:39, and you'll also be able to listen to our commentary on Apple TV's MLS Season Pass. Just go into the audio options. You can choose home radio, and you can listen to Mike and I there, completely synced up. We'll have the full-time report for an hour after the match as well. That will be only on 92.9 The Game, the Odyssey app, and on the Atlanta United app. Can't wait for another season to get underway. Feels like this preseason has maybe lingered for a long time. It's been a little bit longer than typical preseasons have been. And I think that's going to help Atlanta United, especially in the way that they're going to try to cause some turnovers in the attacking half. The chemistry will come. We're just going to have to wait and see on Yorgos Yakimakis and his work permit. Derek Etienne getting up to full fitness. Luis Abram getting up to full fitness. The chemistry will improve over these first few games, but I do think the way that they're going to defend, the way that they're going to be aggressive in the attacking half will create opportunities. How do they manage the individual moments in the game? Let's say they take a lead. How do they handle that period of time where, look, you can get a little destabilized? And I think that's hurt them at times in preseason. Is the leadership returning from a Miles Robinson, from a Brad Kazan? Is that going to help maybe steady the ship a bit? Because we didn't see that a lot in 2022. Is that going to happen early in 2023 while, the ship maybe isn't as steady as it will be, as the chemistry will build? Can't wait to see how everything plays out. Can't wait to be with you guys tomorrow on 92.9 The Game, on the Odyssey app, on the Atlanta United app, and for the game broadcast, if you choose, on MLS Season Pass on Apple TV. Thanks for hanging out with me for March to Match Day. We'll be back next week as Toronto FC comes to town. That'll drop on Friday. Adios, everybody.